Now I'm at Channel 2 and look to be here for many, many years to come. And I'll tell you as we go along why I transitioned to Channel 2 and invite you to come over as well, because you know, when I looked at the opportunity at Channel 2, I knew that the history wasn't as rich as Channel 8's. Let's be honest, all right? I mean, the Zing and Tuffy show, from Becky Dixon to Chris Lincoln, I mean, you name it, the history is with Channel 8. It's on their side. And the change, though, in this industry is unbelievable right now. It is not like it used to be, unfortunately, and Frank can attest to that as well. It's just a completely different ballgame. Even from when I arrived at 19 years old, it was totally different than it is now. And we've really, really had to adapt to that. And most of it is because of this right here. And big companies taking over companies as well. So Channel 8 was purchased by one of the largest broadcasting companies in the United States. And I'm never going to speak anything negative because I love the people over there, but it was just a big company. We went from a family-owned company to a conglomerate that, you know, it just became another number. And so I wanted to finish my career, or at least hope to continue my career for the long term at a place where there was a little more family orientation, a little more family history. And the Scripps family has a rich tradition in journalism, and they're very, very committed to that. And they know my name. So I'm just not another number. They actually do care about their people. So that's partly why I made that transition to Channel 2. So today, what I figured I was going to talk about was not only invite you to watch Channel 2, but also give you a little information about the weather. I don't want to get out of your camera sight here. So a little about the weather coming up over the next couple of months, because we are transitioning from a crazy, crazy past couple of months. Can anybody agree with me on that one? I mean, this is insane. Again, Frank and I were talking just earlier just how crazy it is, because, thinking back just the 18 years I've been in the business, I don't remember where we were just cold for so long. I mean, we had snow about a month ago. A little over a month ago, snow falling in Tulsa, and then here we are with a 4-day stretch of 90-degree temperatures and another 4-day stretch of 90-degree temperatures heading our way. So this is just insane, but the weather and the extremes for us are going to get worse. So we're going to see more extreme weather. So what was normal, I mean, Oklahoma's never really been normal, but the extremes that we've had that were kind of crazy are going to be crazier. All right? That's just how the Earth is responding right now. And we see that one of our computer models is predicting a hurricane to hit Florida within the next 8 to 10 days. And that would be absolutely insane. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition, but it's been consistently showing every run a hurricane hitting Florida by or before Memorial Day weekend. Just absolutely crazy. So let's go from the really cold couple of months that we've had, and now let's look ahead. But first we need to look back to last year, because last year started out really, really hot. All right, so June and July, this is the above normal. The red is where the temperatures were above normal. And there's no doubt most of the U.S., about 85% of the United States last July was above normal. So the U.S. as a whole was warmer than what we should normally be. Except, oh, thank you. I like that. I didn't know you were operating. It's pretty cool. All right. So, hey, can you come do my weathercast with me tonight? So we went to August, and look what happened. A complete 180. About 85% of the United States, or maybe 70% of the United States, was way cooler than normal. We had a really pleasant August across the area. So we started out really hot, and it was looking bad, but then we got a lot of rain in August, and we unfortunately had the tornadoes as well in Tulsa on August 8th. And so it was just a really strange summer. Now this year, we are starting off because our summer technically starts May 1st, meteorologically speaking, we are seeing, I should say June 1st. It starts June 1st. Well, off of my dates. So as we go forward, so September went back to warm conditions. So we went from hot to cold, back to warm, and we transitioned into what we call a La Nina pattern. And that's where the waters out in the Pacific are colder than normal. And that really influenced our weather, and it gave us dry conditions because it started last summer. So last summer we had dry conditions in June. Let's go to July. This is July. We started to see increasing rain chances last July. We'll go to August, and we'll see that where the cooler temperatures were, you can see most of us were dealing with a lot of rain, a lot of clouds that keep temperatures down, and that's why we had below normal temperatures. We go back to September, and we started to become dry again. And this drought began last September and lasted until about December, January, and then finally in February, we got some rain, but we had really dry, of course, all the grass was dead, so we got a lot of fires across the area. So September was dry. And so what will we see this year? Well, let's go to the next map. And let me give you an idea of what is El Nino, La Nina, just so you have an idea of what the difference is between the both. They have to do with the sea surface temperatures in the equatorial Pacific Ocean off the coast of South America. Those sea surface temperatures in turn change up our weather patterns year-round. El Nino is typically warmer waters. La Nina is the colder waters. And you can see this is what the years past, 1990, 1988, La Nina year, right here in South America. Here's all the cold water. So this is what we saw this past winter. When we see El Nino years, we typically see wetter winters and wetter summers. So we're coming out of a La Nina pattern, which typically means that we see our severe weather season end early and summer start early. So we're already seeing that happen. We just didn't have a whole lot of severe weather yet. So we're starting to see summer build in early, just as it would as we transition away from La Nina pattern. Where they'll start to go, we go forward one, where they'll start to go into a hot and slightly drier pattern over the next month. We'll see that. Keep going. There we go. This is June, July, August. This is our forecast average temperatures for the next 3 months. So we're looking at above normal temperatures expected. So we're expecting hot weather, hotter than normal conditions this summer. And if we look at the precip, it's going to be dry as well. So my biggest fear right now today is if we do not get soaking rains in the next 2 weeks, we are going to be in trouble. Because I went back and looked. Last time this happened was back in 2012. We had what we called a flash drought occur. And I think we all remember 2012, the summer, the fires out in Manford, out just west of here, just ripping through the skies, the clouds and the smoke and the haze. And we had 55 days at 100 degrees or above. All right, so if we don't get rain, this is the real telltale here, in the next couple of weeks, and get our ground saturated, then we're going to be in trouble. Because air that is dry is much easier to warm than moist air. So if we have moist air, it's tougher for that temperature to go up. But if it's dry, then those temperatures will just soar very easily. And then that causes more drought problems and fires and all sorts of issues. Now, as we head towards July, August, September, still predicting the potential for above normal temperatures. So it doesn't look like we'll see much relief, unlike we did last summer. So last summer was nice. This summer, unfortunately, is not going to be so nice across the area. Now, the precip, unfortunately, looks to be below normal this summer. One of our driest months is going to be even drier than normal. So that's kind of the summer outlook for us. And so this weather has just been absolutely crazy with the cold weather, the snow the past about a month ago, into this dry May. And I was driving in today, and what was really evident was we had storms develop out west of us, northwest of us last night. And any time typical of this year, or this time of year, they would roll southeast and move into our area. Well, I was looking as I was driving in, and I saw virga. And what virga is basically the precip in the mid-levels falling from the clouds and evaporating before reaching the ground. All right, so what are we? Is it May 10th? May 10th. May 11th. May 11th, our wettest month of the year, and it can't even reach the ground. That is incredibly troubling to me. So I'm really am concerned of the potential for a flash drought to occur the next several months, because we already have drought out west, and it can spread east quite rapidly. So there's another possibility on mine. So here's the two extremes that I could see happening, and I believe one of them will occur. The other extreme is we look back to years where there's been a drought in western Oklahoma. June here in eastern Oklahoma for us has been historically a tornadic month when that occurs. We look back in 1974, we had an EF4 tornado, we had Manford tornado. Was it 80? It was in June. Can't remember the exact year. We had the Sky Took tornado. Some of the worst tornadoes ever to hit eastern Oklahoma have been in the month of June when there has been a drought out to the west. Anybody want to venture why that might happen? Take a guess. Reason why is when you have a drought out west, the dry line pushes further east. So normally it sets up out in western Oklahoma. Well, what happens is the desert, not kind of figuratively speaking here, pushes east. So we have such dry ground out in western Oklahoma, that dry line shoves further east into eastern Oklahoma, where the warm, moist air meets that dry air. And we typically see more severe weather episodes. So if we do see a turnaround in the chance for storms over the next month, I think our severe weather would go up significantly. If not, we see a flash drought unfortunately develop and set up to be a really bad, horrible summer. And I hate to go to extremes like that, but the way things have been going, those are our two options, unfortunately, the way the extremes have been playing out across the area. So earlier I was talking about how this game has changed in television. And back when I first started, we had 3 channels. One channel here wasn't even doing news yet. Okay, so it was 2, 6, and 8 doing news, only at 5, 6, and 10. And Frank, what time did you start your morning show? 6 a.m.?
6 o'clock. Now it's what, 4?
4:30. Yeah. Somebody starts at 4, I think. I don't know. I'm not up that early. But so that was the only game in town. You had the newspapers, and you had 3 news stations and some cable offerings that really didn't put out good quality program back in the day. It was the main networks that were putting out. So everybody would watch. They do their activities during the day, and they'd come home and they'd settle down, put their kids to bed, and watch the 10 o'clock newscast. And they got to get their weather information because they need to know what's going on the next day or how to plan for the weekend, right? So we fast forward to where we are today, and here's my job, okay, is to somehow hope and pray that people stick around, 1, to watch the news at 10, and 2, to stick around to even watch the weather. Because why do they even need to watch when you have your phone by your side and you can check out the weather each and every single day? So when I said earlier the game has changed, it's not even the same game, it's just a whole different game. Where now, instead of in the past where we would give you almanac information and today's high was 82, right now it's 53, I have to make my forecast help the individual and give them information that they cannot get on the phone. So we kind of have to do a completely different weathercast. It's all very lifestyle orientated. For instance, we've got Rooster Days going on in Broken Arrow. So people trying to make plans to go to Rooster Days, we got a forecast for that event. We have to, if you're going fishing, if you're going to the Lake Keystone, what the levels are going to be, what the forecast is going to be hour by hour, because that's information that they can't find for those specific locations that we really have to really try hard and predict for. So you can see why everything has changed just in the past 20 years. It has been rather significant. It's still a lot of fun, but the cool thing too is, and this will just wrap this up, is that social media has added a whole new level to this. So instead of waiting until 10 o'clock, I could go on Facebook Live right now and easily reach 5,000 to 10,000 people just on this phone, okay? So people don't have to wait till 10 o'clock. They don't have to wait till 5 or 6. They can get it instantly. And so our business is trying to rapidly evolve into that now, give it to you now and give you what you want now. Because there's a lot of data that comes back and tells us exactly what you like and what you don't like. So that's kind of, I want to give you an update on the summer. I also wanted to give you an update on kind of how this business is these days. I know they're kind of back and forth on that. So